and I'm a sophomore at Mercer Island High School. Up until March of 2013, I was your typical teenager. I loved horseback riding, eventing to be more specific, skiing, and spending time with friends and family. Then it all changed. I went to the doctor to have a large bump on my thigh checked out. What I thought was a bad bruise, I was told had a high probability of being cancer. After many tests, 2 biopsy surgeries for my lung and my leg, and a stressful couple of weeks, I was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer known as Ewing sarcoma. There are approximately 250 cases diagnosed a year in the US. My treatment included 14 rounds of chemotherapy, during which I was hospitalized for 2 to 5 days in a row for each round. I've undergone surgery to remove my tumor and replaced my femur with 5 inches of titanium. And I got a new hip ball as well. I can now call myself the titanium girl. I've had multiple MRIs, CT scans, PET scans, and x-rays. I've also had multiple blood transfusions, and I've been poked so many times I can't remember how many. I've used a wheelchair, walker, crutches, and a cane. I was in a back and leg brace to set my hip and leg for 7 weeks straight, 24 hours a day. I've spent 54 nights in the hospital and have gone to over 200 doctor's appointments. I will continue to get scanned periodically for the next 4 years. But this isn't a speech about me. I'm here tonight to talk about all of us kids. We're the cancer kids at Seattle Children's Hospital. At my 8th grade graduation in June, I was asked to give a speech. I talked about what I had learned during middle school and about what having cancer has taught me. Afterwards, a teacher came up to me and told me that I have a voice and not all kids with illnesses are heard. I didn't understand what she meant at first, but after spending so much time at the hospital, I began to understand. I started to look around and notice all the kids. I wish all of you could meet us, but Seattle Children's is a hard place just to wander into. We range from the tiniest of babies to all of us teenagers. We speak many different languages and come from many different places. Most of us have feeding tubes. It's hard to keep weight on while taking chemo. Some of us are in wheelchairs. We all have different types of cancers, but we are united by our bald heads. My mom says it isn't right to just call us kids. We are really warriors. Our surgeries and treatments that we undergo are long, hard, and grueling. I don't know if we are warriors, but I do know we are strong. One of my favorite quotes is, "You don't know how strong you are until being strong is your only option." Some days we cry a lot. I've definitely done my fair share. But we battle our way through each and every day. I spent a lot of my time on the cancer floor in Building Code. One of the children there had just received a bone marrow transplant during one of our earlier chemo stays. My dad would see her mom again and again as we would come back every 2 weeks for more chemo. At our last chemo, that girl had been in the hospital for 112 days straight. We lost track of when she was finally discharged. Such amazing strength, a true warrior, but one that few people get to see. I guess the one thing we all at Seattle Children's have in common, besides our bald heads, is we're all unlucky and lucky at the same time. Unlucky that we all have diseases such as cancer, which we had no chance of preventing. Some of us were born with our diseases, and some of us have gotten sick along the way. Sometimes even the doctors can't tell us why we are so sick. We haven't had the chance to smoke too much or exercise too little. We're just kids. But we're lucky that we have Seattle Children's to give us hope for the future. My oncologist is Dr. Hawkins, who is the leading U.S. expert in sarcomas, the type of cancer I have, and Dr. Jensen, who is redefining the way we think about treating cancers with T-cell therapy. Not to mention all the other doctors and nurses at Seattle Children's who are amazing. They never stop giving 110%. I've been asked a lot of questions. It was hard to hide when I had a scarf over my head, no eyelashes, no eyebrows. People ask me what it's like to have cancer. That's easy. It sucks. They asked me if I know why I got cancer. In 8th grade, we had a speaker come from Africa. He was living in Rwanda running an orphanage. When the genocide in Rwanda occurred, the U.S. government told all U.S. citizens to vacate Rwanda. He sent his family home, but made his personal decision to stay and help the orphans, as well as hide villagers in his house. I was really moved that day. I had decided that someday I would like to make a difference, just like him. Little did I know that that day would come so soon. I have spent a lot of time thinking about why cancer happened to me. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve it. Ultimately, the only answer that makes any sense is so that I can make a difference for kids like me who are sick. Earlier this month, I was honored by receiving the award for Washington State's Outstanding Young Philanthropist of the Year. As I was standing on the stage accepting my award, I couldn't help but feel a little guilty. If it wasn't for all of you who feel so deeply about pediatric cancer, I wouldn't have received the award. And if it wasn't for all of your generous donations, I may not have had the opportunity to be standing here tonight. I am here tonight because of cancer research. Research developed and tested the drugs that I took, the dosages I needed, and the length of my treatment plan. Did you know that cancer is the #1 cause of death by disease among U.S. children? Yet only 3 cents of every NIH funding dollar goes to fund childhood cancer research? When I first started my chemo treatments, the hospital's new wing, Building Hope, was not yet open. That meant all of us cancer kids shared a room while we were inpatient. I shared a room with one of the girls who would eventually go on to receive the new T-cell therapy. At the time we were sharing a room, she wasn't doing well. My parents stuck my earbuds into my ear and told me to watch a movie. They did their best to shelter me from tough situations. They wanted me to remain as positive as possible. They never knew, but I turned down the sound that day. I listened to a teenage girl who was scared, frightened, and facing what she thought would be the end of her life. The nurses called in one of the doctors to talk to her. The girl kept repeating over and over again, "What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work?" About 6 months ago, I saw that same girl in Seattle Children's Magazine with a huge smile on her face. She had received her first T-cell therapy and was cancer-free. I believe that supporting research is important. It is so important to me that I created my own fundraising site called Cat's Crew to support bone cancer research. It's why I'm here tonight speaking for Ben Towne Center, which is funding truly amazing cancer research. It's changing how we look at treating cancer. The patient's T cells are genetically modified to recognize cancer cells and attack them. It's just like how your T cells attack viral infections in your healthy bodies. Can you imagine a day when everyone has a chance to survive cancer without the use of chemotherapy? I can, and Ben Towne Center can too. My godmother gave me the necklace I'm wearing. It's a simple heart with the word hope engraved on it. She also gave one to each of my younger sisters. The dictionary defines hope as a feeling of expectation and a desire for a certain thing to happen. Hope is such a great word because it can mean so many things to each different person. To my littlest sister, hope means that my mom packs a treat in her lunchbox. To my middle sister, hope means that I never get sick again. She missed her big sister. To me, hope means that cancer kids who follow me will have shorter treatments, better success rates, and little to no side effects. Hopefully, someday Seattle Children's will be a memory for me. A line from one of my favorite songs is "Every storm runs out of rain." I hope my storm is ending, but I'll never forget the kids there. I've been at the hospital for too long to completely erase it from my memory, and I don't want to. My new motto is "The time is now." The time is now to make breakthroughs in cancer research. Raising money for cancer research helps me to know that my struggle is worthwhile and that I can make a difference in the world. Because at the end of the day, all of us cancer kids have the same wish, just to be kids again. Your donations tonight don't just fund pediatric cancer research, they make wishes come true. I want to start out this evening by donating $100 of my own money, which sadly fell on the floor earlier. I write articles about my cancer, and each time an article gets published, I get paid. Please help me tonight by adding to my donation. Together, we can make a difference. On behalf of all of us cancer kids, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.